So as we begin tonight's class, let's go ahead and just gently come onto our backs. As we come onto our backs, let's begin with our natural breath. As we're breathing into our chest, we can go ahead and close our eyes if we would like. Just begin slowly inhaling into our chest. Inhaling and expanding. And exhaling completely. So let's go ahead and place our hands on our upper chest. As we begin our 3-part breath today, let's go ahead and notice all of the expansion of our chest. So for tonight's practice, as we work through different postures, let's start to notice the length of each inhale and each exhale. And as we're going with different flows, let's just set an intention. Keep our breath with the flow. So even if we're flowing in a group and you begin to flow at your own pattern of breath, continue doing so. Just kind of noticing the difference as we move with our breath tonight. Noticing all of our lungs beginning to expand. Next exhale, let's go ahead and take our hands down to our middle belly so we can touch our pointer fingers and our thumb tips together, and we're going to rest that up underneath our rib cage. We're going to relax those shoulders down to our bellies. Slowly begin inhaling into that lower belly. As we are inhaling into our middle belly, noticing that our ribs are still expanding. Notice our diaphragm begins to join here. And just so we can really focus on our breath, go ahead and begin to count maybe our inhales and our exhales. We can do it out loud or we can do it silently to ourselves. Just creating a nice rhythm. Beginning to let go of anything we brought to our practice tonight. Just letting go of any expectations or any judgments we bring to our mat. Let's go ahead and exhale down to that lower belly. So keeping the diamond pattern with our hand, thumbs are touching, pointer fingers are still touching. Our thumbs can rest on, above, or below that belly button. And let's go ahead and exhale those hands down to our side. Begin to breathe into that middle belly. Nice full breaths. Notice not only as we bring our lower belly online, we can still have our ribs expanding. We can still feel our diaphragm bringing in more air. See if we can slow down our breath through our nose and out our nose. But it's maximizing our best possible oxygen. So as we begin our flow tonight, let's go ahead and inhale those hands up over our heads. We're going to just walk our feet out to the edges of our mats ever so slowly. Let's begin to shift our legs left and right here. As we're shifting our legs left and right, take each inhale and just try to walk our fingers a little bit further. We're stretching out our hips. We're stretching out our psoas. We're also taking our time through our inhale and exhale to really allow a full, nice flow in through our hips. Can't want to inhale up to the center and exhale down to the side. Go ahead and come back to center. And we're going to take our right knee into our chest and we're going to allow that left foot to extend out, reaching the opposite direction. And as we bring our knee into our chest, we just want to bring our hand behind our knee or on our thigh. You can also use a strap or a towel here. As we bring that knee in, give a little round circular motion into our ankles, moving our toes. We're really trying to not to be distracted by that movement, and really work on each inhale, just allowing for our thighs to come a little closer to our belly. And maybe noticing with each exhale, just settling back down again. So that inhale might be going away a little bit. And that exhale is just allowing for that hip to sink a little bit deeper. Let's relax our shoulders here. Lengthen through our spine. Just feel our hips settling into the socket. Let's go ahead and exhale, releasing that hip. Let's go ahead and inhale our other knee in. As we inhale, extending our right leg out. Go ahead and bring that knee into our chest. Move our ankle and toe here, but again, really noticing the rise and the fall, the closest between our thigh and our chest as we inhale and exhale. Still move our toes though. Go ahead and exhale that left leg down. We're going to inhale our right leg in. Exhale, slowly releasing that right leg. So working here, matching our inhales to bring our knee in and our exhales to release that leg. Moving nice and slow, using that breath into our hips. Inhale, bringing that knee, exhale, releasing it. Continue to flow through our hips here. Our next inhale, let's go ahead, or on our next exhale, let's go ahead and release our legs all the way out, taking our hands up over our head for our extended supine mountain. So really reach in that opposite direction. Reaching and stretching, locking our fingers, bringing length in between each and every vertebrae. On our next inhale, let's go ahead and bring our knees into our chest. We're going to give a little bit of movement here, side to side. As we're moving side to side here again, making our tonight's flow about matching our breath with movement. We're going to keep coming back to that. So at any point during our flow tonight, we can also close our eyes so that we can match that breath, taking that distraction off of things we might see around us. And let's go ahead and exhale, dropping our feet down to the mat. Let's go ahead and slowly come over onto all fours into our cat-cow here. As we come into our cat-cow, let's go ahead and make sure our hips and knees are in line, that our shoulders, elbows, and wrists are in line. We're just going to begin to breathe through that back. So inhale, dropping our belly down. Exhale, pulling up all the way through that spine. Taking our time with our breath here. Again, trying to see if we can inhale through our nose, exhale out our nose. Another way to stay focused on our practice. We can still be counting our inhales and our exhales. And as we slowly come back to center, let's go ahead and extend our right hand out, our left foot out in for our spinal balance. And let's do a little flow here. So as we inhale, we're going to take our arm and crunch it down towards our knee, bringing our knee towards our belly button, and then extending out. So we're crunching, bringing our right elbow to our left knee, coming across our body, and back out into our spinal balance here. So just a little bit of a crunch, working through that hip. Again, matching that breath, using that inhale to come in. Exhale, expand out. Go ahead and do one more. And we're going to lower that right hand down onto the mat. We're going to leave that left foot extended, resting the ball of our foot down onto the mat, and stretching into our calf here. Getting a nice calf into the lower part of that knee. Go ahead and pressing the ball of our foot back into that heel. And let's go ahead and bring that knee back up underneath us. We're going to take that spinal balance into the other leg. So inhaling, extending, reaching with our left hand and our right foot. Once we get there, let's begin to flow. So taking that left elbow to our right knee into a crunch, extending out. Keeping our bellies tight as we can, using that root lock. Go ahead and do one more. And then we're going to bring that left hand down on the mat. We're going to leave that right foot extended, come down to the ball of our foot, press back into our heel, and allow that calf stretch on the other side. Go ahead and come into all fours and resting back into our child's pose. So right now we can open up our knees in for our child's pose. We're going to allow that bottom to settle back. We can bring our forehead either onto our hand, mat, block, our stacked wrists, whichever we would choose. And now with that breath, inhaling through our nose and exhaling through our nose, let's think about our child's pose. So just imagining with each slow exhale as we're counting that sinking sensation in our bottom, even if it's not much. Softening our bellies. We're going to slowly begin to flow, building up our heat. Let's go ahead and bring our knees underneath us. To begin with, we're going to come into our kneeling plank. As we come into our kneeling plank, let's go ahead and lower all the way down to the mat. Slowly bring your chest down. And then inhaling, lifting our hands into our cobra. Exhaling, coming back down to the mat. And then either with our inhale or coming back on our forearms back into our child's pose. And beginning again. Inhaling, coming into our kneeling plank. Exhale, slowly lowering down all the way to the mat. Inhaling into our cobra. Exhaling all the way down. Inhaling back into our child's pose. On our next inhale, let's go ahead and bring our toes up underneath us. We're going to come into our down dog. In our down dog here, let's take a moment to really get into our down dog. So we're going to work on pressing that bottom back towards the wall. Let's go ahead and bend our knees here and press our bottom back further. Just noticing all of that weight in our back. And slowly, let's begin to inhale, extending up. We're going to bring our right foot and left foot slowly up to meet our hands. Inhaling our hands to the top, reaching for the sky. Exhaling our hands to heart center. Let's go ahead and come up to the top of our mats. So as we come up to the top of our mat, we're going to go ahead, inhale, hands up, reaching for the sky. As we reach for the sky here, let's go ahead, bring our hands around our ears, surrounding them. Let's go ahead and just extend as we inhale, one hand up, the other one up. So just taking that time to switch through here. I'm just trying to reach a little further here, extending out those side muscles. And then on our next exhale, let's go ahead and bring those hands to our side, forward fold. And then as we inhale, let's go ahead and look up, bringing our hands up onto our thighs for our half forward fold. And then inhale, looking up again. Let's go ahead and take our hands down to the mat. And we're going to come in a high lunge. So we're going to take that right foot back in a high lunge. And then from our high lunge, we're going to take our left foot back into our down dog. Then from our down dog, let's go ahead and slowly roll in onto the balls of our toe into our plank. We're just going to roll up on those toes. And then we're going to slowly begin to lower down, dropping our thighs, opening up our bellies, coming into our up dog. Let's go ahead, turning our toes under, coming into our down dog. Let's go ahead and take that right foot up, stepping up towards our right hand, turning that left foot out. But let's come up into our crescent lunge. So our belly is going to lean forward. Rather than coming all the way back for our warrior one. For our crescent lunge, our bellies are going to be a little bit more forward. We're just going to open up our hands. Let's go ahead and exhale, stepping up to the top of the mat. That was a little different and I missed a step there, so I apologize. Let's go down the other side. I'm either going to get it right or mess it up again. Inhaling, lifting our hands up to the sky. Exhaling, forward folding, hinging at our hips, coming down for our forward fold. Inhaling, looking up, hands coming onto our thighs. Exhaling down for our half forward fold. And then inhale, looking up. Exhaling, taking our hands down to the mat for our forward fold. We're going to take that left foot back in a high lunge. Here in our high lunge, go ahead and take a second before we begin to step that right foot back. And that's where we come into a high plank. So we begin to roll up onto our toes from there. We needed an extra step to get there. Let's go ahead and exhale, slowly beginning to drop those hips and thighs, opening up our chest for our up dog. Go ahead and begin to turn our toes underneath us, inhaling, coming into our down dog. Now as we inhale, let's take that left foot up. We're going to do our crescent lunge. So we're going to bend that front knee, but we're just going to come up over the front knee. Doesn't matter, fold back. We're not having to come and bring our backs up. Come into that crescent. Let's go ahead and exhale, stepping that foot up to meet it. All right. Let's go ahead and come wide on our mats. So bringing our feet wide. And as we bring our feet wide, let's go ahead and extend out into our 5-pointed star. We're going to begin with those moonflowers. So as we inhale, bring our elbows into our hips, extending out. So a nice squat can be as deep as feels comfortable in our knees. We want to make sure that those knees are coming back over our ankles. We're not going over them. That bottom is just sitting back. We can get a little extra back. We want to squeeze our elbows into our sides. It's the popcorn, I swear it looks like a piece of popcorn. And then coming back up into our 5-pointed star. Now we're going to do a sunflower with a squat. So we're going to swing our hands around, and then we're just going to squat back, leaving our hands open. So instead of getting that hinge at our hips, we're taking that squat, keeping our chest open. However, if you feel like you would like to do a full sunflower, you are more than welcome to do so. This one is just going to build a little bit more heat. Coming back up into our 5-pointed star. Let's go ahead and exhale. We're going to hinge at our hips, forward fold, coming into our wide-legged forward fold. So here in our wide-legged forward fold, let's go ahead and walk our hands out just a hand length. And let's go ahead and settle that head down. Let's shake that head yes. A couple times here. Let's shake our head no. Now let's just move it all around. Now with our hands out here, let's take a nice side exhale and just sink that bottom back towards the wall here. Now coming back to that breath with our where we're counting inhales and exhales through our nose. Let's just begin to shift left and right here. So keeping our bottoms back towards that wall so that we're not coming over our toes with our knees. We're just kind of stretching the back of our hamstrings around to that inner thigh area. Now let's go ahead and slowly walk our hands over to the right side, turning that right foot out. Coming over to our pyramid. Now remember, for our pyramid, we can come our hands down to the mat. We can rest them on our shin, or we can rest them on our thigh. We just want to straighten that front leg out. We can also rest on blocks. We can always walk our back foot up closer too if we don't feel like we're stable or balanced. Just listening to our bodies tonight. So stretching through the back of the knee, up through our hamstring, bowing our heads gently towards the earth. Couple nice full exhales. Now let's go ahead and slowly walk our hands back to the center, turning that foot back in again. So we're coming back into that wide-legged down dog, making sure our hands are a little bit out further than our natural. Let's go ahead and sit back in our bottoms. So pressing that weight back towards the wall behind us. Let's go ahead and just move our head around here, any which way we would like. Slowly begin to walk our hands towards that left foot, turning that left foot forward, keeping our right foot turned out, coming into our pyramid on the other side. Remember, we can always bring that other foot closer to meet us. We can always move our hands up our leg. We're just listening to our bodies, remembering that every yoga practice is different on every mat every day. So one side will always be different than the other. let's go ahead and inhale, walking our hands back to center. And as we come back to center this time, taking a nice full inhale to come up to the center. Now let's go ahead and just rearrange our feet, shake that out a little bit. We're gonna come back into that heat building sequence. So let's go ahead and just bring our feet wide here. And we're gonna do those moonflowers again. So reaching out to our 5-pointed star to start. Just inhaling into our moonflower, extending out. And using those elbows coming in to crunch down. Try to release the tension in our shoulders. Now let's go ahead and start adding our sunflowers. So coming out, hands overhead. Using that nice squat there. Nice. So let's go ahead and slowly come back to center. Let's come back up into our mountain posture. And now as we come into our mountain, let's go ahead and move those toes together. So placing our feet underneath our hips and then just checking those big toes with our a little bit of bringing them a little closer together. So once we come into our mountain, let's go ahead and exhale, bringing our hands out to our side. As we bring our hands out to our side, let's imagine our hands are being pulled in opposite directions here. And let's come back to that counting of our breath in and out of our nose. Relaxing our shoulders down, allowing them just to kind of reach out. Let's go ahead and drop our head down, looking at the ground in front of us, keeping those shoulders where we were. And let's just begin to roll our neck from our right ear to our left ear. Nice and slow. Again, using that inhale through our nose and exhale. Noticing how much slower our motion becomes. Let's go ahead and bring our head back to center. We're going to place our hands on our hips and we're just going to do a little bit of hula hoops here. So shifting around through those hips. We can close our eyes. This is always a good one to close our eyes. When we open our eyes, sometimes we're just moving along, but if we close our eyes, we can actually see our hips beginning to draw that circle. Using our breath here, just break up any tension. Switching directions. Now let's go ahead and come back to center, and we're going to come up for our balancing posture. So for our balancing posture today, we're going to do our tree. So for our tree, you can remember we can pick a spot. Either choose to leave the ball of our toes and rest the ankle. We can choose to rest our foot on our calf or onto our inner thigh. However, we just don't want to place any pressure on our knee in case we begin to press ourselves. So let's check in with those mountain feet. We're going to check them, bring those big toes in just a little bit more. And as we begin to inhale, let's go ahead and shift our weight into one foot. Begin to choose our tree for today. Opening up that chest. Making sure we're tightening our bellies and our hips, making sure our shoulders are stacked over our hips. And on our next exhale, let's begin to exhale and release ourselves, coming back into our mountain pose here. We're going to begin to bring those big toes in just a little bit so we can feel all of our weight on all four corners of our feet. And let's go ahead and begin to shift weight onto our other foot and find our tree on the other side. So again, connecting all four corners, tightening that lower belly. Imagine our shoulders stacked over those hips, allowing our gaze to focus somewhere out in front. Let's go ahead and exhale, slowly release and shaking it off. All right, let's go ahead and come up to the top of our mats one last time. And as we come up to the top of our mats, we're going to go ahead and inhale, hands reaching up. And as we exhale, let's go ahead and forward fold into our forward fold. And this time, let's go ahead and take our right hand, reaching for our left elbow. Our left hand's going to reach for our right elbow, kind of making a cradle here. And let's just kind of begin to swing, bring weight onto our right hip and then our left hip, just kind of swinging around in our hips here with our forward fold. So our arms are just kind of like a nice little bent weight, resting on our elbows, giving our back a little bit of extension here. We're just twisting through our hips. Continuing to enjoy. Go ahead and exhale, taking our hands down to the mat. Let's go ahead and slowly begin to come onto our knees in for a kneeling camel. So as we come onto our knees, we are going to gently raise our chest up. We are going to take our hands, create a fist, and take the flat part of our fist, resting them on the dimples in our back. And as we inhale, beginning to open up that chest. Now, as we're inhaling, we're going to just lift that chin up towards the sky. Not our head, just our chin. So almost as if we are, I always feel like this is like a Peter Pan stance. In our standing camel, coming back with that breath. Let's go ahead and exhale, releasing that. We're going to bring our right foot up in front, so we're coming into a kneeling lunge here. So as we come into our kneeling lunge, we're going to actually come into a crescent lunge. Let's go ahead and inhale our hands up to the sky and really reach through our hands up through the sky. So lengthening all the vertebrae in our spine, locking that front foot towards the mat, locking our root lock here. Now let's go ahead and exhale, and we're just going to lower our hands over that front foot, and we're going to bring our right hand inside of our right leg. So our right hand is inside our right leg. It's one of those rare times that our right leg is outside of our right elbow. We're just going to slowly begin to walk that back foot back. So our left leg is going to walk slowly back to when it's comfortable. We're going to come into our lizard here. So we're just resting. Perfect. Perfect. Again, one of those times where you're going to have your hand inside of your foot. That knee is resting comfortably. Let's just go ahead and look up. Perfect. Let's go ahead and slowly begin to come up out of that. We're going to switch our feet. So any which way we would like, bringing that left foot forward, coming into our crescent lunge here. Nice, inhaling those hands up, reaching through our fingertips towards the ceiling. You're going to reach. And let's go ahead and exhale, bringing those hands down inside of our thigh. And placing a little bit of weight on our hands, we can begin to walk that back foot back. So I wanted to come forward because I think you guys are all questioning that, but you guys all looked really good. Nice, perfect, you guys. Let's go ahead and just look up here with our chest. Go ahead and exhale, slowly bringing ourselves out of it, walking that foot back and coming into our child's pose. Taking our time, just gonna settle into that child's pose. We can bring our knees wide on our child's pose, and then just getting comfortable. We can grab a block or a pillow, we can rest our hands on one on top of each other, and just settling in for our child's pose. Taking a couple moments to center that breath. Inhaling through our nose. And let's begin to just take our hips side to side. You're real gently here in our child's pose. Shifting those hips ever so gently. We can even move our forehead side to side on the block, on the mat, on our hands, on our forearms. We're rocking our head, we're shifting our hips. Slowly, let's begin to come out of our child's pose and come around onto our bottoms. Our last two postures and end in a seated meditation here. We're going to keep it very quick tonight. Let's go ahead and bring that right heel onto that left knee. We're just going to go ahead and stretch those toes back towards our right knee. And then just allowing for that hip to fall open here. And let's go ahead and slowly extend that foot out, bringing our right heel onto that leg, letting those other toes point back. Stretching into that hip a little bit more. Let's go ahead and exhale, coming into our butterfly. We are going to end in a seated posture tonight. So either in our butterfly or a crossed or easy seated. For today's meditation, we are going to be doing a silent 7-minute meditation. So after we've came to a nice, comfortable, relaxing spot in an easy seated pose, let's go ahead and bring our hands either resting on our knees or placing one hand on our heart and one hand on our belly, and just beginning to feel our flow of breath. As we feel our breath coming in through our nose, shifting through our heart, down towards our belly and back up, let's simply begin to hear the sound of our breath gently flowing in and out. And as we are sitting here hearing our breath, let's come up with a word, maybe even a phrase, to gently repeat to ourselves for our silent meditation today. Now, that phrase or word, if we can't think of something maybe like hope or peace, or happiness, or joy, we can always just have a simple breathing in and breathing out. Today's goal is maybe noticing that as our mind shifts, that we simply bring it back to this simple word or phrase that we have chosen for today's meditation. So our only goal really is just to acknowledge when our mind starts to drift, not judging that space. So let's begin just gently repeating that phrase or word gently to ourselves. Maybe reminding us to come back. That soft and gentle breath. Reminding ourselves if our mind begins to drift, simply coming back to that word or phrase. maybe reminding us to come back. That soft and gentle breath. Reminding ourselves if our mind begins to drift, simply coming back to that word or phrase. Now as we slowly open our eyes, let's bring our hands together gently in our heart center. Bring our fingertips and palms gently together. Let's take 3 nice deep breaths together. And on that last exhale, reminding ourselves that our gentle word or phrase can be a mantra to help us balance out our day and to bring us some awareness as well as some joy. So as we move throughout our days, let's remember to let go and let's remember to be present. And as always, I thank you for coming. Peace.